4 or 5. One, the name is She Said, and there's a book called She Said. That book is based on the articles produced by the New York Times investigation department on Hollywood, primarily on Harvey Weinstein, who was a producer out there, large-scale movie production house, who could put, if you on his good side, he could take you and put you in a movie, maybe not the starring role, but a supporting role. Put you in a TV series, maybe not the starring role, but supporting role, and put you in a TV commercial. Do you know what a TV commercial is? If I had 3 TV commercials, I could apply for a SAG card, Screen Actor Guild card. That's right, 3 paying gigs. And Harvey used to do is have parties, and he could do is say, I'm a producer of TV commercials. I like you, young flesh. I would like to do is take you home with me tonight, and I to see my sculptures, my etchings, my paintings, the swimming pool, the kazoozie, and my bed. Doesn't have that thing, and he could say, and she would say, yes, because she knows this pervert is going to put her into a TV commercial. Yes! And if you're a young flesh in Hollywood and you're looking for a roof over your head and food on your table, you're going to look for a sugar daddy like Harvey Weinstein who would said, you want to be in a TV commercial? Have sex with me. And that's basically what he did. If he only would have stayed with the talent agencies and got the young flesh models, he wouldn't be in jail right now. He wouldn't have had 82 women testified against him, basically raping them. But he branched out. He went after secretaries, airline stewardesses, restaurant waitresses. Is that a downfall for Harvey? Yes, and it's a downfall for a lot of producers. But as they say, why would you have sex with that dirty old man? Because he can get me on a TV commercial. And I can guarantee you, all she had to do is go back to her talent agency and say, we had sex Friday night. And talent agency would call Harvey up and says, okay, what TV commercial are you going to put her in? And of course, Harvey would say, well, I don't have to do that. And talent agency, Harvey, you're married with 3 kids, or 5 kids. What TV commercial are you going to put her in? And that's what, yep. TV series, that's the supporting actresses, and always actresses. A little bit more. You spend the weekend with Harvey. You fly to London or Paris with him. And he's a predator. Well, the worst kind. Yes, but he's in charge of a large thing. And, as I said, if he only stayed with the Hollywood pool of the talent agent, he wouldn't be in jail, but he's spread out. She's sexy. I want to have sex with her. I'm going to take her to my room, and I'm going to get her in bed, and I'm going to have sex with her. And she turns around and sues a guy. It costs the studio thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for lawsuits. Lawyers love that. Oh, you better know Hollywood had a special branch of lawyers, trial lawyers that went after Harvey and the studio. And they even followed Harvey around, mind you, to see who's being abused by Harvey. And they will approach her. Gee, you spent the night with Harvey or the few hours with Harvey? What did he do? I'm a lawyer. We don't sue him. Yes. Harvey was a cash cow. Yeah. But that's Hollywood for you. And I said before, talent agencies would, every time Harvey had a party, they would send their most beautiful ladies in there, hoping that they would think. Harvey got wise to that. Okay? He called up the talent, hey, this is Harvey Weinstein. So-and-so, blah, 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 blah. I would like to have her at my party tonight. And I'd like to take her home with me. And the talent agency will say, I will send her over. That's pimping. Yep, sure is. A lot of talent agencies in Hollywood whose clients got sex with Harvey Weinstein acted as pimps. But that's illegal. This is Hollywood. Something like Broadway or off Broadway and everything else. This is Hollywood. That's how he got away with it. And after a while, but as I said before, he started stalking around the studio for the secretary pool. Started going after other movie houses' secretaries. Many times Harvey Weinstein was barred from entering another studio's property. Or, as some talent agency would do, is hang up on him. You will not touch one of my people, one of my girls. Well, your girl's not. And they would warn the women within the talent agency, do not go to his party. And don't believe anything he says, if you do. He's a sexual predator. And did the police know about it? Harvey Weinstein had lawyers and a lot of money. But he got caught. New York Times finally found some woman that was willing to talk about Harvey Weinstein as a predator. And 2 did it, and 3 did it, and then 4 did it. And they say, I'm willing to have my name out there. Harvey Weinstein basically said this: you'll never work in Hollywood, New York, or anywhere else. And here's a signed contract and everything else. Well, women believe it. Some of the women who signed the contract basically said, "Phooey on Harvey, I'm going to get sued." Yeah. And the New York Times says, no, you're not. No, you're not. We got lawyers. Harvey Weinstein has lawyers. Oh, no, you don't understand. We have lawyers. And if we have to, we go down to the press room. And we have a couple guys on the press pay Harvey a visit. We have lawyers and union pressmen. And I guarantee after the first few ones, a bunch of women started coming through. Yes, ones that were abused by Harvey Weinstein and said, "Phooey with it. The lawyer's going to sue you." Doesn't make any difference. Rape is rape. As they said, I got raped by Harvey Weinstein. And you have 2 or 3 of them, the police ears pop up. If you have one woman goes in there, well, he's a very powerful guy and everything else like that. He said, she said, but she said. And that became part of the uprising of women being sexually harassed in businesses, big name businesses, even law firms, and definitely the U.S. military. Oh, you better know it. Oh, you better know it. Which is very amazing. I'm saying something about the U.S. military. I knew a woman who got her jump wings. A tall woman, beautiful, everything else. And she said she got approached by an officer, and she pulled out a knife and says, "I'm going to cut off your balls. You will be court-martialed. I will still cut off your balls." Right. But yeah. And that's what she said. And I basically do understand this thing. I'm going to tell you about something else. There was when I was going undergrad school, working at commercials, and one of the guys I was with was his father owned a automobile dealership, and he had a SAG, a Screen Actor Guild's card. He said, well, because I was on my father's automobile thing, doing a 30-second or 1-minute commercial. I was at one of my uncle's restaurants doing commercial, and my aunt had a bakery, and I did a commercial for her, and then I applied for my Screen Actors Guild, and they said, okay, you got a Screen Actors Guild card. But then he said, my sister has one, my father has one, my mother has one, my aunts and uncles have one, my cousins have them, the same thing. But he said something else too. My father realized that I can get the kid down the street over here, or the kid down the street over here. And especially if they're theater majors, well, that's for going after that thing. And I will pay them $500, and they're going to give me a kickback to be in my commercial. And then he can take my commercial and apply it to a SAG card. Yes, almost every week he had a new face on there, but he also made money off of that. The actor got $500, and he got a kickback. Yes. And his daughter had started an ad agency and doing the same thing. Yeah. And they got, in Screen Actors Guild in Chicago, they seem to have a lot of people in these commercials. But again, they're commercials. And if they go somewhere, they go somewhere. And if they don't go anywhere, they don't go anywhere. And you can do is have your resume by having, for a 30-second clip, that's your resume for any future thing in Hollywood. Now, one of the things you have I've known Hollywood producers, directors, and because some of the organizations I belong to, Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers, you meet a lot of producers. And one of the producers that had that great big meeting in Chicago, and they said, a panel said, you have to belong to a talent agency here before you go out to Hollywood. Because if you don't belong to a talent agency here, those who were involved in the sex trade out there will pick you up. Yes. And if we're looking for talent somewhere in our, say, movie, and it's a multi-million-dollar movie, we're getting resumes from all that thing. In your face could very likely be in our thing, because basically we can pull your resume out, your face, your resume, whoever you belong to, and you have to belong to a talent agency. We don't go to a restaurant and pick her up off the thing. That's no. You have to belong to a talent agency. So we get to see you at that thing. We see everything about you. And very likely speaking part. If you have a speaking part, you should be able to speak. It's all memorizing lines. Read Shakespeare. Give me Shakespeare. But I don't want to see you sit there with a piece of paper doing Shakespeare, reading it off of there. I want you to memorize. Give me a line of Shakespeare. Okay? That's the way we tell our thing. And they will know ahead of time what we're looking for, what face we're looking for, what size is she or he is going to be. If you come out there, you think you're going to see me, don't. You won't get past my gatekeeper. She's not going to let you pass. She wants to see your resume ahead of time, and it has to come New York or Chicago or Kansas or Miami or San Francisco. You have to belong to a tele agency and here before they're going to look at you there. And even by doing a multi-million-dollar thing, even for a walk-on, we're going to have to put you in costume. We have to know your size. We have to do this. We have to do that. And how many times you're going to walk on? How many days are you going to be hired for? Right. And if we're going to pull you from Chicago out there, remember, the second you get on that train or plane or bus, most likely plane, you're on our payroll. Because we know what parts you're going to get for. We know what you're going to read for. We know ahead of time about you. Or you're going to run into a person like Harvey Weinstein and wind up in his bed for one night. Who knows? You get some money from him. But don't count on it. He's a scumbag. There's a book on him. There's a movie on him. He's a scumbag. He's a predator. Raping? Yeah. Does Hollywood know about him? Yeah, they knew about him. They knew a lot of them creatures like that. I've known creatures like that. Yes, as a student, I met creatures like that. Yes, as a student, I met creatures like that. I knew what their operation was. I was knowing who was running their operation. And they say there's some pretty sleazy people we run into in this field. But as I once said, I will never get into the field. As one said, hey, can you be in my movie as Frankenstein? Or one of the guys in the background? Sure, I've been in a couple of those before. I'm the guy in the background. I'm doing it for favor things. He's not going to, I'm doing it as a favor, as a student film or a movie. It's a feature film in a theater. I'm one of the back guys. I understand. He's on a tight budget. And, yeah, he goes to Columbia College and picks up a bunch of people there, a lot of film people. And they're given an opportunity to have their name in credit as an assistant director, assistant on greens, assistant. Even if there's no greens, we have a greens person there, makeup, that thing, construction, everything. Even if there's no hammers being swung, there's somebody saying he was in construction. He got his name as credit, and credit is very important in this field. It's like in the theater. I worked in professional theater, and you got actresses who will go in there and their parents will buy their part into the theater. But she's being paid. Her father is buying part of the production. His daughter is going to be up there, maybe not as the main actor, but as a supporting actor. He's going to put in $10,000 in the thing. And if he has money, he may buy half of the production. I've seen it happen where a father wants his daughter or son in a theater production and says, I want to buy your next theater production. Wall to wall for a month. Yes. And the son and daughter gets to do their thing. And if they're going, I knew it when I worked theater, they went off Broadway to New York, off Broadway. They were off Broadway for a month, and they came back. And everybody in that production, that group that I was with, went to Hollywood. Yes, why didn't I go to Hollywood? Nah. Working as a stagehand, one thing. Going to Hollywood, as I've said before, they want to know you ahead of time. They want to know what you can do. And I've only done small stuff. But, did I go into the field? For a company, yes, but no. You run into Harvey Weinstein in Chicago, yeah. You won't run into Harvey Weinsteins in Chicago. I'd rather not work with them. Why? Well, they're going to cheat. Yeah, well. Okay, that's on She Said, and maybe I can give you some insights of you better be in a talent agency before you go to Hollywood, or you're going to get picked up by the flesh eaters. What do you mean flesh eaters? That's that thing. There's a whole stories there too on porno doing that thing. Porno in Chicago? Ooh, yes. New backgrounds. But, as I said, Harvey Weinstein is doing 25 plus. And too bad, Harvey. Could tell you something about Jeffrey Epstein. And there was always Epstein. Oh, he was going into TV productions too. He was videotaping all his mansion activity. Yes. And they found the pictures. Yes. Judge so-and-so, Senator so-and-so, Congressman so-and-so, politicians. Wow. Oh, well. That's all.